There is a gap between the English you learned in school and the English that native speakers actually use every day. In school, you learn words like purchase, residence, and obtain, correct words, proper words, words that will serve you well in a formal essay or an official document. But walk into a conversation with a native English speaker and you will hear something different, faster, looser, more flexible. Built from a small set of incredibly powerful words that do almost all the heavy lifting in everyday English communication. Today we are going to look at 5 of those words. Not the most impressive words, not the most sophisticated, but 5 words that native speakers reach for constantly in every conversation, every message, every ordinary interaction, and that will immediately make your English sound more natural the moment you start using them the same way. The first word is get. Get is the most flexible word in the English language. Native speakers use it for everything. And the reason most learners sound slightly unnatural is that they avoid it, reaching instead for more formal alternatives that technically work but feel stiff in casual conversation. Get means receive. I got your message. Get means understand. Do you get what I mean? Get means become. It is getting cold outside. Get means arrive. When did you get here? Get means obtain. I need to get some coffee. Get means experience. You will get used to it. Get means deal with. I will get it when the phone rings. And get combined with other words creates entirely new meanings. Get over it. Get through it. Get along with someone. Get away with something. One word, infinite uses. Start replacing your formal alternatives with get in everyday conversation and watch how much more natural your English immediately sounds. The second word is thing. Native speakers say thing constantly. It sounds almost too simple, too vague, and yet it is precisely the vagueness that makes it so powerful, because it works as a placeholder for almost any noun when the specific word is unavailable or unnecessary. The thing is used at the start of a sentence to introduce an important point. That is the thing about living in a big city. It is a whole thing, meaning a complex or significant situation. I have a thing at 7, meaning an appointment or commitment. The thing I love about him. The weird thing that happened yesterday. Do your thing, meaning do what you naturally do. Thing allows you to keep talking when you do not have the precise word. It keeps the conversation flowing. And because native speakers use it constantly, using it yourself sounds natural rather than imprecise. The third word is just. Just is everywhere in native English speech, and it does something that learners rarely appreciate. It softens. It makes requests less demanding, statements less absolute, and language more natural and less aggressive. I just wanted to check in. I am just going to grab a coffee. Just let me know. It just happened. I just think it is interesting. Just in case. Just like that. Without just, these sentences work. With just, they feel warmer, more casual, more like the way people actually talk to each other rather than the way they write formal emails. Pay attention to how often native speakers use just in a single conversation. You will be surprised. And then start using it yourself. Not everywhere, but in the places where it softens and humanizes your English. The fourth word is like. Not like as in to enjoy something, though that too. Like as a comparison tool, as a filler, as a way of approximating and describing. It was like nothing I had ever seen. She was like really surprised. It felt like forever. Something like that. What was it like? More like next week than this week. It is kind of like a mix between the two. Native speakers use like to approximate, to compare, to describe experiences and feelings that do not have a perfect, precise word. It is especially powerful for descriptions. It was like standing at the edge of the world. It felt like the whole room went silent. Using like this way, as a flexible comparison and description tool, will make your spoken English sound dramatically more natural almost immediately. The fifth word is kind of. Kind of is the native speaker's tool for softening certainty, for expressing something that is approximately true, mostly true, true in a certain way but not absolutely. It signals nuance, hesitation, and, importantly, it sounds natural in a way that words like somewhat or rather do not in casual conversation. I am kind of tired. It was kind of amazing. I kind of knew it was going to happen. It is kind of hard to explain. I kind of want to go but kind of don't. Kind of is honest. It acknowledges that most things are not absolutely one thing or another, that feelings are mixed, situations are complicated, and language that reflects that complexity sounds more real than language that is always precise and absolute. Use kind of when you want to express something that is approximately true, when you want to soften a statement, or when you want to sound like someone having a real conversation rather than delivering a prepared speech. So there they are, 5 words: get, thing, just, like, kind of. None of them impressive. None of them the kind of vocabulary that earns you points on a language exam. But all of them everywhere in the English that native speakers actually speak every single day. Start listening for them. In every conversation, every video, every podcast, every film. You will hear them constantly, and once you start hearing them, you will start using them. And once you start using them naturally, something will shift in your English. It will start to sound less like English you studied and more like English you live in. That is the difference. And these 5 words are part of how you get there.